Hello, everyone. Welcome to week number 7, next to the last week in Science 200. Let's see what we've got going on. So we made it through Thanksgiving. We're moving on into the holiday season, and then we've got a couple of weeks of break, which will be awesome until the next term starts in January. But let's see what we've done so far. And what did we do last week? Last week, you finished up your research paper. And so you chose a topic. You figured out the significance of it to you and to your audience. You determined an audience that you would present to. You figured out how to tailor your presentation to them. You figured out natural principles that had to do with your topic and how your topic relates to them. You determined a hypothesis and how a natural scientist might go about answering the question in that hypothesis. So now you're ready to make a presentation. I'm going to get to that in a second. You have textbook work, Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is all about communication in science. It's terribly important for any scientist to be able to communicate their science. And this is done in a number of different ways, through talks, through presentations, like in person, TED Talks, just going out and talking to the general public at meetings, etc. But the main way that scientists communicate is through the publication of journal articles. So I'm going to tell you about how my first article on my primary research was published. The journal's name was Electrophoresis and still is Electrophoresis. And I sent in my work. I was very proud of it because I had worked for years on it. And so I sent it in and I put a little sticky note on it that said, "Please be gentle with me. This is my first article that I've sent in of my primary research. Please be gentle with me." About a week later, I got a letter from the editor, and she said, "Well, congratulations on sending in your first journal article. However, I will not be gentle with you. I'm going to send your work off to the 3 toughest peer reviewers that I have." Okay, now I'm terrified. And then several weeks later, of course, I was scared. And then a few weeks later, I got the notice back that no, it would not be published as is, and that's almost always what you see. But if you make these changes, then you can get this published in the journal Electrophoresis. So I did work on the DNA fingerprinting technique a long time ago, back in the 90s. It was called the RFLP technique. And it is a method where you separate out pieces of DNA, fragments of DNA based on size. And so I did some research in that. So what I got back was comments from all of the reviewers, and they said you need to change this and that and the other and the other and the other. And I did all that, and I was published in the journal Electrophoresis. Go on Google Scholar, type in my name, Janie Sigmon. It will come up. Now, it looks and sounds very boring to you. I know, but I worked a long time on that. And I have other work that's published. It was terrifying, but I got published, and I've been published several times since then. So that's how it works. The peer review process is terribly important because your peers need to check and double check your work to make sure everything is okay and everything is true and right. So that's how it works. You're going to analyze a report on the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010, and you're going to see how the communication of science happens in this particular report. I just mentioned peer review, so it's terribly important. So this week, you are making your presentation, part of your presentation. This is my suggestion for you. I suggest that you go ahead and map out the different slides that you're going to have for your presentation, so then you can make your speaker's notes. So what the heck are speaker's notes? Speaker's notes are what you would say to your audience about the topic on that particular slide. You do not write out every word that you're going to say on the slide. your audience members do not want to sit there and read and have you read to them exactly word for word on that slide what you're going to say to them. That's not how a presentation works. A presentation should be impactful. There should be images. There should be photographs. There should be data, graphs, diagrams, etc. to help make your point. And then you do your talking over that. That's the speaker's notes. Here are the guidelines for the speaker's notes. Notice the sections. These are different from what is in your paper. So know that. The scientific background, that should be your first slide. Well, you can have a title slide, and then this should be the first slide of substance. So you're going to provide an overview of the scientific background of your issue. So first of all, you've got to explain what your issue is. Number one. Your issue is GMOs. Well, what the heck is a GMO? How is it made? Why are they made? Right? And then the significance of this. That's terribly important. If you don't tell people why they should care, they probably won't. So that's important. The how this relates to the natural sciences, yes, and the significance of it. Audience, explain how this particular topic impacts your audience. So if you're talking about GMOs, most people are worried about their health. Most people are not worried about the environmental health. I'm just saying, but they are worried about their health. So that might be an angle that you go from to reach your audience. The empirical evidence. This is where you go to those sources and you tell what you learn from your sources and you use data to support what you are saying. This is very, very important. You don't just have to use your 3 sources. You can use more than that if you want to. So show what you have learned about this topic and show the backup for what you are saying. So if you're saying that GMOs are horrible for a human person's health, then you got to have some background evidence to show this. And P.S., there is none. Okay, personally, why does this particular topic affect you personally? Maybe you have a personal connection to this. That would be awesome to explain. Investigation. And this is all about your hypothesis and how you go about explaining and experimenting to come about with an answer for your particular question. That's investigation. Your message is not a slide. Your message is just the overall way that you are getting your message across to your audience, and articulation is no mistakes, etc. So this is an example of a PowerPoint slide that I made on ocean acidification. You notice that I have some bullet points here. This is the type of thing that you should be showing your audience. You want to show them what you're going to cover, but you're not writing out every single word that you're going to say. What is ocean acidification? Down here at the bottom, see this section? If you pull up that little line on the bottom, usually it's way down here. If you pull it up, then this opens this section here. Click to add notes. That's where you add your speaker's notes. The audience cannot see your speaker's notes, but you can when you're doing the presentation. This is what you should be saying when you explain this slide. What is ocean acidification? It is the lowering of the pH by the diffusion of carbon dioxide, the excessive carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, into the water. This lowers the pH of the water, making it more acidic. See, this is what you would explain down there in that note section. Why does it happen? Because carbon dioxide diffuses into the water. What are the effects of it? Well, it's affecting all the marine life because the water is becoming more acidic. Shellfish are not being able to produce their shells as effectively as they were. Tiny larvae of different organisms are not surviving in this more acidic water. How can we stop it? You'd have to explain that. We got to stop burning fossil fuels, number one. So all this information goes down here in this section, and these are the speaker's notes. You're going to make speaker's notes on each one of these sections that's listed here, right? Because you should have slides for each of these. Are you making the slides yet? No, you're not. You're turning in the actual presentation in week 8. That will be your slides, 5 to 7 slides, not counting the reference slide, not counting the title slide, right? 5 to 7 PowerPoint slides, Google slides, Canvas slides. Oh my goodness, there's so many PDF slides. There's so many ways to make the slides. And if you're not sure how, ask me. I can always help you. Prezi's pretty cool. If you've never done a Prezi presentation, that's pretty cool to do too. Okay, so that's where your speaker's notes go. That's what you're going to be turning in week number 7. No discussion board postings this week. You will have some next week. A couple of reminders. The deadline for this course for everything to be turned in is Sunday before midnight, December 22nd. All right. Grades don't have to be posted until the 26th. They give us until the day after Christmas. Yeah, not great timing. And I'm sure I'll be finished before that. But anyway, your deadline is before midnight, Sunday, December 22nd. And this is your deadline for turning in absolutely everything. After this point, I can't upload anything. You can't upload anything. So you need to know that that is a deadline for everything. So make sure you get everything in. If you're having any issues, if you're having any trouble, if you really don't understand these speaker's notes, whatever, just let me know. Send me an email, m.sigmon@snhu.edu. I will be glad to help you. I've been here the whole term, and some of you have needed me. Some of you may need me here at the end of the term. So please just let me know. I'm here to help you. Okay? With that being said, I hope that you have a wonderful week number 7.